Have you ever felt it?
That frustrating moment, a name you've known for years, suddenly vanished, or a word dancing on the very tip of your tongue, refusing to be spoken.
Many of us dismiss it. A senior moment, we might say with a nervous laugh.
But deep down, a quiet fear can whisper,
is this just a normal part of aging? Or is it the beginning of a path I do not wish to walk? I am here to tell you that while this experience is common, it does not have to be your destiny. Your mind's clarity is not something that must inevitably fade like the setting sun.
To understand why, I want you to imagine something with me.
Picture your brain not as a complex machine, but as a vast, living library.
Throughout your day, you are constantly collecting new books. The stories you hear, the faces you see, the skills you practice.
Your library becomes filled with thousands of new pieces of information. But the most important work happens at night, in the quiet darkness.
When you fall into a deep and restful sleep, a special night librarian begins its sacred duty. It meticulously sorts through the day's collections, carefully archiving what is precious, the memories we cherish, and clearing out the clutter, the informational junk, to make space for the new day.
This process is essential for a sharp, reliable memory. But what if we are unknowingly sabotaging this librarian?
What if our simple, nightly routines are, figuratively, tying the librarian's hands, preventing this vital work from ever getting done?
In this video, we will uncover 3 common nightly habits that do precisely that. These are habits that many of us believe are harmless, even relaxing.
And more importantly, for each one, I will share a simple, gentle exchange of practical wisdom to untie your librarian's hands and ensure your mental library remains organized, vibrant, and fully accessible for all the years to come.
Let us begin with the first, and perhaps most common, saboteur of our night librarian.
It is the one that often feels like a reward at the end of a long day.
We finish our chores, we settle into bed, and we reach for a screen. Perhaps it is the television, a tablet to read the news, or a phone to see pictures of our family. We tell ourselves, this helps me unwind, it helps me drift off. I have heard this from so many of my patients over the years. But modern science has shown us a profound and concerning truth. The gentle blue light emanating from these devices sends a powerful signal directly to your brain. It is the same biological signal as the midday sun. It shouts to your internal clock, it is daytime, stay awake, be alert.
This signal actively suppresses the release of melatonin, the very hormone your body produces to whisper, it is time to rest. But melatonin is not just a sleep signal, it is also a potent protector, an antioxidant for your brain.
Its most critical role, however, is as the key that unlocks the door to the deepest, most restorative phase of sleep, what scientists call slow-wave sleep. And it is only in this deep, quiet state that your night librarian can finally begin its most important cleaning task. Your brain activates a remarkable purification system, known as the Glymphatic system. Think of it as a gentle, intelligent power wash that flushes out metabolic waste and toxic proteins that accumulate while you are awake. This includes the very same beta-amyloid plaques that science has linked so closely to memory decline and Alzheimer's disease. So, when you look at a screen before bed, you may feel your body is tired, but your brain is being held in a state of high alert. Using a screen before bed is like asking the cleaning crew of your library to work in the dark with the fire alarm blaring. The essential work simply cannot be done. So, what is the exchange?
It is a simple and beautiful practice I call the digital sundown. It requires no new technology, only new intention. At least 90 minutes before your intended bedtime, declare that the sun has set on your digital day. All screens go dark.
Instead, you invite in the twilight.
You can read a physical book under a soft, warm, yellow light.
You can listen to calming music that has no words. You can share a quiet conversation with your partner about the day.
Or perhaps you can do some gentle stretches, feeling your body release its tensions. Please understand, this is not a punishment or a prohibition of technology. It is about creating a sanctuary for your mind. It is a sacred act of giving your brain the peace and the darkness it desperately needs to organize the memories of your day and to protect the precious memories of a lifetime. Just as we can flood our minds with artificial light, we can also disrupt them with what we consume in that final hour before bed.
This brings us to our second saboteur, which often masquerades as comfort.
It is the small bowl of ice cream, the few sweet biscuits, or perhaps for many, the relaxing glass of wine or beer to cap off the evening.
It feels like a deserved treat, a way to soften the edges of a long day.
But this form of comfort comes at a hidden cost to your brain. When you consume processed sugar late at night, you create a storm in your system. This spike in blood glucose and the subsequent surge of insulin creates instability and inflammation, precisely when your brain requires calm and order.
This disrupts the delicate architecture of your sleep, making it shallow and restless. And what about that glass of wine that feels so relaxing? You are correct that it can make you feel sleepy. It is a sedative after all. But let me ask you this. What if I told you that it is, in fact, robbing your brain of the exact kind of sleep it needs to remember your day tomorrow?
While alcohol helps you doze off, it dramatically fragments the second half of the night. It specifically suppresses your REM sleep, the critical phase where your night librarian processes emotions, cements learning, and solves problems.
You may be unconscious for 8 hours, but you wake up mentally unrested. Your librarian has been repeatedly interrupted during its most creative and important filing work. The wisdom here is not about deprivation. It is about an intelligent exchange. If you feel a genuine hunger or thirst before bed, you must choose something that calms the system rather than igniting it.
My first recommendation is always what I call a serenity tea, a simple, warm cup of chamomile, lemon balm, or valerian root tea. These are ancient herbs that gently signal to the nervous system that it is safe to rest. If you feel you need something more substantial, something to chew, then a small handful of walnuts or pumpkin seeds is a wonderful choice.
They are gifts from nature, containing magnesium and tryptophan, the very building blocks your body uses to create its own natural sleep aids, serotonin and melatonin.
They assist your sleep instead of fighting it.
Nourishing your body at night should be an act of preparing your mind for its vital work. When you make this simple swap, you are not just satisfying a small hunger.
You are nurturing your ability to clearly recall the story you were told today, and to wake up with the sharpness to fully cherish the smiles of your grandchildren tomorrow.
We have spoken of what we let into our eyes and what we let into our stomachs. But our final saboteur is perhaps the most powerful because it comes from within. It is not an action you take, but a state of mind you carry to your pillow.
It is the invisible habit of getting into bed, but not truly arriving.
Your body is under the covers, but your mind is still at work.
It is replaying a difficult conversation from the day. It is rehearsing a worry about tomorrow.
It is making lists, agonizing over decisions, or still feeling the stress from the late-night news broadcast. Your mind is, simply, full. In Japan, there is an old Zen concept about the importance of emptying your cup before you can receive anything new, like fresh tea.
The same is true for your mind before sleep.
If your cup is overflowing with the day's anxieties, there is no room to receive the gift of restorative rest.
Scientifically, when your mind is racing with these worries, it remains in a state of high alert.
It is producing the stress hormone, cortisol. Your brain does not know the difference between a lion at your door and a worry about a bill you must pay. It stays in problem and threat mode.
A brain on high alert cannot possibly switch to the calm maintenance and filing mode required for deep sleep.
Trying to sleep with a mind full of worries is like trying to organize your library while a noisy, anxious crowd refuses to leave the building.
Your night librarian stands by, helpless, unable to even begin their work until the hall is quiet and empty.
The exchange for this chaos is beautifully simple.
It is a tool I have shared with my patients for decades, and it takes only 5 minutes.
I call it the Mindful Dump Journal. Keep a simple notebook and a pen by your bed.
Each night, as the very last thing you do before turning off the light, you will dump 2 things onto the paper.
First, write down whatever is worrying you. All of it. Get it out of your head and onto the page. Let the paper hold the weight of it, instead of your mind.
Second, identify and write down the single most important task you need to accomplish tomorrow.
Just one. By doing this, you are telling your brain, I have captured the priority.
You do not need to remind me of it all night. This act of externalizing your thoughts is incredibly powerful.
It signals to your brain that these worries are safely stored elsewhere, and it has been given permission to let go.
This small ritual is not about solving all your problems at midnight. It is about giving yourself the gift of peace. It is an act of profound self-compassion that protects the clarity of your mind for the day that follows.
You are telling your mind, you have worked hard enough. Now, you may rest.
So, there we have it. 3 common habits that can silently cloud our minds, and 3 simple, powerful exchanges to reclaim our clarity.
Let us remember them.
We exchange the jarring blue light of a screen for the gentle, warm light of a book and a lamp.
We exchange the inflammatory spike of sugar or alcohol for the profound calm of a serenity tea. And we exchange the chaotic noise of a worried mind for the quiet peace of an empty page. Each of these acts is more than just a habit.
It is a signal.
A signal of deep respect for the sacred work that happens while you sleep.
With these simple rituals, you are dimming the house lights, silencing the alarms, and respectfully closing the doors of your library, so that your night librarian can finally do its work in perfect, peaceful conditions.
You are allowing this faithful servant to lovingly tend to the shelves of your life story, preserving the chapters you hold dear and making room for new ones to be written. Please, let go of the fear that your mind is a dusty vault that must inevitably rust and fail with time. It is not. Your memory is a living garden, and with the right gentle care, especially the care you give it in the quiet hours of the night, it can continue to blossom with vibrancy, color, and new growth at any age.
Care for your garden tonight. Now, I am deeply curious to learn from you. What is one small, peaceful ritual that helps you prepare your mind for rest?
It could be one we discussed today, or a piece of wisdom from your own life. Share your experience in the comments below. Your story may be the very light that helps another person on their journey.